First of all, man, thank you so much for jumping on. You're from Houston, right?
I was born in Queens, New York. I'm Puerto Rican. It's both parents. My mom is from Mayagüez. My dad is from Santurce. Lived in Houston. They moved us from Queens when we were young and lived in Houston most of my life up until the Marine Corps.
What brought you to Puerto Rico?
So I moved to Florida. I moved to Clearwater last year around May. And I was doing some traveling, went to a bunch of NFT events. I went to Miami Basel. And from Miami Basel, me and my business partner, we came down to Puerto Rico. We're like, yo, let's go to Puerto Rico. We went to Rincon for 2 weeks. I hadn't been to the island, since I was a little kid. The third or fourth day in, I was like, I'm gonna live here. I was like, this place is magical. Like, I have to live here. We were gonna stay for a week. 2 days in, we're like, nope, we're staying for 2 weeks. And like the next day, we're like, yeah, we're gonna live here. And like, it was like 10 or 12 days later that I had moved my whole life here. Situated the car, went back to Florida, shipped my car, just made all the plans and came here, got Airbnbs to go look for places to live.
Yeah.
And we landed here where we're at. So I've been on the island since December, but we really got here, I believe, because I went back to Florida, then came back. I think it was the 3rd of January. From the 3rd of January to now I've been living here.
I met with some crypto guys recently. They talked a little bit about NFTs. Something stuck, something that just didn't make sense. So NFT, non-fungible tokens, right? I got that right? I understand that it's something that is not just happening in the future. It's something that's already currently happening as we speak. And we see a lot of these memes and we see a lot of 30-second videos on Instagram and everybody's talking about NFT. So the first thing I want to ask you is, the quickest way for you to answer somebody what NFTs are, how would you answer that?
So NFTs, without going on a speech, because I'm like super believer in this technology, it's a fundamental shift in ownership. For the longest time, we thought we've been owning our assets, like let's say digital assets, like when you buy music on Apple iTunes, right? You don't actually own that asset. Apple owns the asset. Like if you wanted to do whatever you wanted with that, Apple could tell you no. You can't move it where you want to. You can't resell it. So you don't actually own that asset. And that's how all digital ownership is. And what NFTs allow is for true digital ownership of non-fungible assets. So a non-fungible asset is anything that's unique, right? The word non-fungible means unique. When you apply this, like people are looking at NFTs as just these funny characters. So the Bored Apes, they went from $300 to $300,000 in less than a year. And all these crypto punks, all these things. But it's not these characters, it's the underlying technology, right? Anything that's non-fungible can now be put on the blockchain and sold and traded. That means a house. We're talking about house deeds. We're talking about diplomas, IDs. We're talking about every kind of concert ticket, any kind of event ticket will be NFTs. Really, NFTs encompass ownership and value exchange of unique assets. That's what an NFT essentially is.
So if I own an NFT or if I did a transaction by buying a house, and forgive me, I'm saying the verbiage incorrectly here, through an NFT transaction, through the blockchain, can anybody have access to see my NFT blockchain ledger? Can you see everything I do?
As you know, on a public blockchain like Bitcoin or Ethereum, and Ethereum is where most of the most valuable and most value is in NFTs, regardless of what anybody says, the most value and liquidity is on Ethereum. And so, yes, it's on a public blockchain. Those transactions are viewable to the public, right? And so anybody can see what's going on. When it comes to houses in particular, right, there's some interesting things going on right now currently. I know some people in the space that are working on this, but they're able to tokenize a piece of real estate and then fractionalize it, right? So now you can have 20 owners of one property via NFTs. Right. And so that wasn't easily possible before. Yeah. And so now things like that we're just going to see more and more of that. But yeah, your deed of ownership saying that you own this property will be on the blockchain.
What if there's something I just don't want people to know about my private life? Should I be concerned about that?
So that's a really good question. Privacy is an ongoing frontier, right? The governments don't want anonymity and privacy, right? But remember, on Ethereum and any public blockchain, your name is not directly attached to that account. It's an address. So you're going to have some kind of link between you and that address. You don't have to make that public, but property can be looked up publicly anyway. That in itself is not such super dangerous or super privacy invading. But the things that you're buying and the things you're investing in, that's a new societal norm that we're going to have to get used to, because I think in the future, there's going to be two types of interactivities that you're going to do on the blockchain. You're going to have your public persona, your public wallet that people can go in and see what you're about, what you own, what charities you support, what concerts you like. It says something about you. People can see who you really are, and you can't fake it. Like, you can't say, I'm a T-Pain fan. Let's say T-Pain was just starting out and he did his first concert. His first concert was an NFT. I'm his greatest fan. Well, I can prove that I have his first ticket and I supported him in the very beginning. So this is going to be a very, very valuable societal and social aspect, right? Why do people wear Rolexes or blue check marks? All these things are going to come into play. So you're going to have a public version, and then you're going to have private accounts that you don't share, you don't connect anywhere.
Okay.
You can kind of hide what you're doing from the public by using different wallet addresses and not connecting them to your public persona. But there does need to be some more layers of privacy. We already have privacy on regular fiat currency. Somebody can't just look up what you have in your bank account. Yeah. And so there's going to be some protocols, and there's some things being worked on that are going to allow that kind of stuff. But regulators and people are gonna fight that.
I think that's the word I hear most when I talk to my friends about crypto and NFT. The first thing they say, it's money laundering. It's going to be the best way to do illegal activities. And in my opinion, illegal activities happen with cash, so it really doesn't change the world. But how do you...
The most used money for illegal activities is the dollar.
So someone comes up to you and they're like, how do I invest in NFTs? What's the best way to either invest?
Yeah, you're going to have to really do 20, 30 hours of research. If you really want to dive into this world, there's so many projects, it's exploding. And so there are some blue chip projects that are already, the Bored Ape Yacht Club is a solid bet, but you're going to spend $300K to get one. CryptoPunks, also super blue chip, not going anywhere, very expensive. There's other projects that are on the way up, but there's a lot of scam projects. There's a lot of BS in the space. There's a lot of nuance. And so I would really recommend people to start at the basics, understand.
I know that your video, when I listened to it, honestly, I've heard so many conversations on NFT. I saw your video and immediately I said, this click, especially when you used the example of music. I was telling my wife, if I download a song from T-Pain on Apple Music, in order for me to hear it on my TV, I usually have to have the app on my TV. So in reality, if Apple were to ever go out of business, which we hope that never happens, I don't own that song. I would have to re-buy the song. So I'm, in essence, leasing a song for 99 cents one-time payment and hope that I could always have access to that. So when you broke that down the first time on your video, first of all, I thought the video was funny, so I appreciate that. I think it was also very transparent. So I definitely want people to follow your page. I'll put this description below. Number one, I would say get at least 20 or 30 hours of information. And because there's so much information out there, one tool is, hey, follow my boy Albert, follow his YouTube page. Any other tools that you recommend, books to read or people to listen to? And I know it's kind of hard to vouch for individuals, but anything else you could think of?
There's a lot of content out there that's really good. You can go on YouTube and find The Defiant is a good channel. There's a document called the NFT Bible by OpenSea, which kind of goes through the basics and stuff. But that's a good place to start understanding the beginning. One thing I would really caution new people into the space, into understanding, is that there are a lot of scams. Things that you think are normal to do, like clicking on links and stuff like that, you think is normal. But in the NFT space, you have to be very careful. You have to verify the URLs are the right ones. You have to make sure that a lot of the ways that we communicate in the blockchain and NFT world is an app called Discord. And Discord is its own little animal. It's kind of confusing and it's overwhelming, but once you get it, it makes sense. And there's a lot of scams in there. You can't accept DMs, things like that. And so the biggest thing I would caution people is to pay attention to security. And if you don't understand something, slow down, pay attention to what you're doing. The details really matter, or you're going to get scammed. And I think at some point, everybody has to have some kind of bad experience.
Yeah.
Oh, I lost this money, or I did this, or, and then they learn. Right?
We learn from our failures, yeah.
Correct, yeah. So I do full-time NFT consulting. So sometimes an NFT project will hire me to do education. So I teach people who know nothing about NFTs how to onboard new users. I just did the Cheech and Chong NFT project, Homies in Dreamland, and I was the education liaison. I taught people that knew nothing about it to get them into that ecosystem, right? I'm also working on some pretty major projects on my own. We have Super Dope Studios is our company with my partner. We have the Super Dope Adventure Club, which is something I can get into another time. It's pretty cool.
I'm bringing you back, just so you know. I'm bringing you back. Just throw that out there.
Real life experiences using NFT, real life utility, called the Super Dope Adventure Club. And then we're working on something here in Puerto Rico called the Crypto Cook. And it's around amazing food, great company, and using NFTs. It's still emerging. I haven't released all the details, but you'll definitely hear about this. It's going to be it's going to start here, small knit thing. Me and my partner are about to start. We're going to record our first episode of a podcast today too. Super Dope podcast. We've been in the space for a little while. We've been a part of some really big communities, like on places like Clubhouse. We helped to grow like a 50,000 member NFT community there. NFTs is my main thing. I've been in crypto since 2014. But I fell in love with NFTs because of the community.
Without the crypto world, NFT really can't function. They work together hand in hand.
But they work together, and in all honesty, I'm seeing some inverse relationships. So like when crypto is going down, NFTs are almost acting as a hedge. The right NFT projects, they're not losing value when crypto is going down. And it's an interesting relationship. Crypto is NFTs are not possible without crypto because NFTs are built on the blockchain. But I do fundamentally think that NFTs are the killer application for blockchain technology. Like they're going to fundamentally transform everything in society. Like everyone's going to be exposed to NFTs in the next 5-10 years, but they may not even know they're interacting with NFTs.
So if I'm invested in Ethereum, you mentioned that as one of the crypto, would you say a lot of the NFTs are working off the Ethereum, and I don't even know how to use this word, the Ethereum network, the Ethereum structure? Is that correct?
Yes. So they're on the Ethereum blockchain. The issue that a lot of people that are new to the space are having with Ethereum is the gas prices and the cost for transactions. All of the lower cost options, there's Solana, there's layer 2s like Polygon / Matic, Tezos, some of these other blockchains. They just don't have the same value. And investors and people who have money locked up in that ecosystem are not willing to move to cheaper networks because that promotes spam, right? So when you don't have to pay for transactions, you have spam transactions. You have people just sending spam NFTs everywhere. You can't do that on Ethereum because it costs money. There's a push and pull. The last thing I'll say about Ethereum, this is kind of technical, but people are complaining about gas prices and they're moving towards what is called proof of stake, which means instead of like mining, like Bitcoin has mining, Ethereum has mining, but they're moving to proof of stake. But what proof of stake really means is that the richest companies and corporations can now buy more stake and have control of the network. So people are asking for something to save a little bit of money, but they don't really understand what they're going to get. So that's all, in the works over the next 5 years, 10 years. We'll see how that plays out.
Thank you so much, Albert. I really appreciate you jumping on. I'm going to put your information, how to contact you below. Subscribe to your channel, of course. I'm assuming you're on Instagram, you are on YouTube. Anything else we need to know how to contact you besides
Twitter? I'm on Twitter, but I do have an NFT newsletter. It's called the NFTinsight.com.
And we can sign up to that by clicking on the information below?
Yeah. There's a free version, there's a paid version, all that stuff.
Thank you so much, man. Anything else you want to say before we wrap it up? Feel free to let us know.
No, man, I really appreciate this.
Thanks, man.
I look forward to getting to know you guys.